It's a shame that Volkswagen no longer gives us the regular old Golf, but it's nice that they updated the GTI. What's even better is now we have an updated Golf R, and the R stands for fun. Fun-R. As you might expect, the Golf R takes the 8th gen GTI shape and then amplifies it a bit. The front bumper is R specific and has a more aggressive splitter and side intakes that push air where it needs to be. You'll find a blue stripe in the upper grille along that awesome LED strip light. 19-inch wheels sit at each corner and wear 235 series summer tires. There's also a large R on the back and a nice rear spoiler as well. And then you have this great diffuser that shows off the quad tip exhaust setup. In the cabin, I'm not gonna harp on all the bits you know we're gonna dislike. You can go check that out in our GTI review because that bit hasn't changed here. What has changed on the R versus the GTI are the more heavily bolstered seats, R-specific sports steering wheel, and the blue R button that puts this thing right into race mode. As for power, Volkswagen sticks with its EA888 engine. This Evo 4 version is cranking out 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. You compare it with a 6-speed manual or the 7-speed DSG like our tester here. And the DSG version boasts launch control and a mighty impressive sub-4 second 0 to 60 mile/hour time. So as you might expect correctly, the Golf R is quite a bit more fun to drive than the GTI, which is already quite fun to drive. But then you take an engine and juice it up to 300 plus horsepower and 300 plus pound-feet of torque, add a responsive gearbox, be it the manual or this DSG, and you have a recipe for a damn good time. Even more so on the fact of the Golf R is that the chassis is wonderful and it adapts to how you want it to be driven. I'm just in normal driving mode right now and I take this corner and it feels super tight. The nose turns in predictably, confidently, and aggressively. Now I'm gonna push this blue button on the steering wheel and we are in race mode. The exhaust right away sounds better. The throttle is more responsive, the gearbox is more responsive, the dampers are a bit stiffer because this does have adaptive dampers. Now, this also gets a bit more aggressive in terms of the different driving modes depending on how you want to drive it. There's a button here below the center screen that brings up comfort, sport, race, and custom. And then if you select race, 2 more modes pop out. One is drift mode and one is special mode. Drift mode sends torque to the outside rear wheel to try to initiate drifts. Now, don't think you're gonna be a hero. You might just end up understeering this into a bush. Really take your time to lose that one. In fact, there's a prompt before you use it every time that says this is for tracks only, and you know no one is gonna listen to that. The special mode is literally designed around the Nürburgring, so it stiffens everything up except the suspension, which it softens because the Nürburgring is a wickedly demanding up, down, left, right, and it would be punishing in the full stiff race mode. So if I hit the mode, race pops it open, and then I'm gonna put it into drift mode, activate, yes. It says ESC is in sport now, driving stability, blah, 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 all that stuff. Now, if you do get in over your head, thankfully, the brakes on this are pretty large. You have 14.1-inch rotors up front, which are huge for a car like this and really help you calm things back down. The paddles are right where you want them on the steering wheel. A lot of people like their paddles mounted to the column so they always know where they are. I prefer them mounted to the wheel so they turn with the wheel and they're always right where your hands are. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. It's just a personal preference thing, and this happens to be set up the way I like it. There's a nice boom between shifts from the exhaust without it being overbearingly pop, 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 pop. I'm looking at you, Supra, with your ridiculous noises. This thing drives wonderfully. The seats are super comfortable. Visibility is great because it's a Golf basically, and it's just geared for fun. It's geared for more fun than the GTI, hence the price jump, hence the power jump, hence the chassis improvements, all that good stuff. This thing is an absolute blast. And then when you need to turn it all back down, hit the mode, put it in comfort. It's geared towards nice, comfortable highway rides. Say you're pulling into your office at work, the exhaust quiets up, the gearbox relaxes, and everything is nice and calm. Obviously, you're getting a lot more car compared to the GTI, so it should cost more, right? Yes, of course it does. The base price is $44,640. If you want the DSG, add another $800. Still, even at this price point, you're getting a heck of a lot of car. This car can rip off 0 to 60 runs in under 4 seconds. It has room for your family. It can haul home the groceries with the quickness, and with the right tires, it is a truly capable all-weather machine. With prices being as bonkers as they are, I think this represents a really good deal for what it is. If you can get past the goofy buttons, you can learn to love it. Now, I said I wasn't gonna harp on it. I didn't say I wasn't not gonna mention it. I have to mention it. Even with that said, this car kicks butt.